People ask me all the time, they come to me all the time and say, "Hey, Winston, how do I get started with a productivity system? Like, what's the very first thing to do? Because I want to be more effective. I want to make sure that I'm prioritizing my time well. I want to make sure that I'm got like some kind of roadmap to what to do." And my first question back to them is, all right, what is important to you? What do you value the most? And usually those values link to certain things. They're usually relationships. They're usually their health. And for a lot of people, it's their spirituality. Some people say their financial well-being, but a lot of times the financial well-being affects the other things. And so what I would say is that you say, what do I get started on today? Or what's my first step? My response to you is be like, write down the few things that are important to you. Like write down what's the things that are very important to you. Don't make 10, 12 things, because when you think about goal setting, you can't do that. You know, there's a high propensity that you can get your goals completed if you focus on them in quarters or one or two at a time. So what's important? And then write down all the things you have to do to make those things a reality. So if you put down relationships, for example, how often do you call your important relationships or you speak to your important relationships? If not, you've got to make that a routine. And then that is what you plug into a system. You just can't say, well, my goal is to make $1,000,000. That could be a goal, but you live your life. Before you get to 1,000,000, you still got life. And is that stuff important to you, or is your relationships important to you? And if you got $1,000,000, what is it going to do to those relationships? That's the key. That's the key that gets missed a lot when I hear all these people talk. Well, I want to get paid. I'm going to blow up. Why? Is it because you're feeling you want to respond to the ego? I forget which philosopher talks about that, whether it's Socrates or Aristotle, whatever. Is it your id that has to get replenished and filled well? Or is the money you're getting paid, does it affect the values that you have in your life? So start with that first. Write it down. Write it down on a phone or like this. I was gonna show a bullet journal, but I think I gave all of mine away, which is a good tool for those of you who like to write down things in an analog way. So what is that? Start off with that first. That is very important. Just stop what you're doing. Because people say they want a productivity system, but then they'll say, well, do these couple of things step first. They're like, no, can I just have a thing that I plug in and all of a sudden my life is better? I wish there was something that existed like that. I wish there was an app that you would just plug in and it would take all your feeds and then it would just spit out to you what your productivity system is. But productivity is like a snowflake. Every single snowflake is different. Every single feed on YouTube or Facebook is different. It's a snowflake effect. So your system's got to be your own. So what are those things that are important? Write those down. And then from there, what are the routines that you have to do around those things? Because what you just did there is you wrote down what's valuable to you. So, and then from there, when you write down what's important to you, then from there, then and only then can you figure out, well, what's my master goal that I need to do that connects to all of that? Because if your goal that you have is contrary to the values you have, it's not going to work. It's going to drive you nuts. Or you may hurt your values. You may hurt your relationships or your health. It's always crazy to me where people say, oh, I got this goal, and then nowhere inside of there is the goal of health. I was like, what are you? Are you like Michael Phelps? That your body and your mind is so cool or so perfect that you don't have to deal with that? Now, it might be a thing that that's more aware of because of myself. When you get to a certain point in life, you start to think about your health more than you probably did when you were 20 or 18. But health is important. So think about what those things are first. what those things are first, and then now you've got the bones of a productivity system. And then from there, come back, subscribe, and I'll talk to you about how you can put your routines and where can you put them. So whether you put them in a software tool or if you put them in a book, like the ones I showed here, if you put it in something like this, then from there you've got a great framework. This is Winston. I am very focused on helping you be more successful. I'm focused on helping you save more time so you can get down with the people you love. If you're saving time to not spend time with people you love, then you're missing something. So thank you so much. I look forward to talking to all of you really soon. You are wonderful. Remember that, and have a great day.